Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is very well. We just got a few little things that we're going to, morning, Lorraine, that we are going to share with sisters in mind. And I just came actually from, I wore double, but I'll take off my aprons now. We did a challah make at Hartsmere Jewish Primary. I put this on for the end. And I had my seed challah make, but my other one that I have for log in, stay calm and log into seed actually has got so many holes that like it's so worn. But like, you know, you feel you have an emotional attachment to some funny things like an apron. You can understand that, right, Sarah? You have like a funny attachment to like funny things, and I'm like, I can't throw it away. I'm actually trying to throw away my husband's school blazer. Morning, Barbara. I actually put it out and I thought I'm going to take a picture of it for him, and then it will disappear with that. And actually it was on the door handle and I hadn't done it. And I just saw, you know where it is, back in his cupboard. Oh my gosh. So now I'm going to just do that. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay. Emma, your water always gives a little bit of calm when you thank stars. Baruch atah Adonai. Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol nebedvaro. Amen. Okay, so when they call you, like last minute from sea to go and do a challah make at Hartsmere, so what do I think? I think like, okay, you can manage, right? And so I thought, you know, you get there a bit early, and then the traffic, oh my gosh, the traffic to Hartsmere from Golders Green, and it's like ridiculous, like, you know, but that's what it is. But I decide what is the importance of it. The importance is that so many people like they're just not connected. And they're in Jewish schools, and they are so there, but so we actually have to just try and do whatever we can to connect them. So I was very happy that actually today, I usually comes a challah make, I get there and the kids are already there, and it's like you can't really share a message properly. But today, the parents were just there without the kids, and actually I could share the message of our Beis Hamikdash. And you know, it's quite amazing. I had my granddaughter also with me. So my granddaughter came with. Not only did she pack bags, because I gave away all those other magnets that I packed. Now I still haven't changed the QR code, which I'm going to get there and do that. But you know, and it's also like I want 3 QR codes on. But can I put 3 QR codes on that little paper? I want to put them. I'm going to put them because people do go on them. And one's the story. Anyway, maybe even just 2 I'm going to put on. So I'm going to blend it. I'm going to get that done today. That's why I didn't want to pack more. But ultimately, what it reminded us, and I started and I said, you know, Rabbi Peretz spoke a bit about Sukkah and how everything, we've been spiritual, and Rosh Hashanah, and then Yom Kippur, and now we're going to do everything physical. We're going to be taking our lulav and the esrog and the sukkah, and we take our whole body and we put it out into the sukkah, our whole ourselves. And everything that we're doing is literally, your entire body is active in the mitzvah of sukkah, of your lulav and your esrog, which we don't have to do, but you should do it anyway. And it's good. Thursday you make your bracha and you make a shechianu, and every day a woman should take lulav and esrog. She should take a lulav and esrog. And it's very holy. We bring our shpizin in, and hopefully we will do a little bit on Hoshana Rabbah. Maybe next week we'll just talk a little bit about taking the essence and the holiness really of Hoshana Rabbah, because this is the time that Hashem is now, you know. And really what I said was actually what we have to remind ourselves, we're taking ourselves from our homes and putting ourselves into a sukkah. Why are we so easy with it? Because you really got your home right there. How many people really sleep in their sukkahs in Manchester and, you know, and London? And how many times? Yeah, I remember when we had our beautiful wooden sukkah, and I had mattresses piled up under the bed, under the table downstairs. And every night we'd schlep them out, and all the kids, my husband sleep with the boys outside, and it would rain. And it was very funny because some kids would just sleep through the rain, you know. And today, you know, whatever, whoever sleeps in the sukkah. And there are a lot of people that do, but in Eretz Yisrael, the weather's made for sleeping in your sukkah. Okay, so that's why we also have the halacha of the Shulchan Aruch of Rav Yosef Karo, and then we have the mapa of the Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll come back to the Ramah HaKodesh. If anybody's been to Krakow, you've been and visited the shul of the Ramah, the Tunnel Shul on the square in Krakow, and where you've got the burials, he's buried right next to it. Such a beautiful shul, tiny place, and then there's the big shul. But he was such a holy man, the Ramah, that he had been working for 9 years, 7 or 9 years on his work of the laws. And literally, he had sent it off to Rav Yosef Karo to have a look at, who was in the African countries, and he gets a manuscript that arrives from Rav Yosef Karo before his has actually arrived or sent. And he looks at this manuscript, and it's exactly what he has written and done, but from a Sephardi perspective and not the thing. And his learning, his chavrusa, who was doing this with, says, what are you going to do? He says, well, it's a brilliant piece of work. What do you mean, what am I going to do? But you've worked on it for 9 years, he says, and so? He says, I'm not going to publish mine. But what I will do, is I will have what we call the mappa, the tablecloth. So the Shulchan Aruch, okay, the Shulchan is the table that lays out the laws. And then we have the mappa, which is the Ramah, when the Ramah gives his halachic opinions on the other that differentiates because of weather or different countries, when they have heat waves and whatever throughout the Arab countries and Africa and Morocco and whatever, it's snow in Poland. So you have to have both sides, so the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi. But imagine working on something like that and then saying, it's okay. I'll just add my bit for the Ashkenazi world. So the humility of that. So we would learn the laws of when you have to stay in your sukkah, when it's pouring with rain, when it's, so that's where we actually learn that from. I said, but you know what? How many of our family, of our soldiers and our thing, don't have a roof? They're fighting for us. They haven't had Rosh Hashanah. They haven't had Yom Kippur. They haven't had Sukkot. And yet we're getting these video clips of, there was, I wish I knew which battalion it was they based on a kibbutz, particular kibbutz in the north. And they're 13 soldiers, religious soldiers. And they wanted to make morning needs. They wanted to have a minyan. So they had a minyan for Yom Kippur. And they sent out a WhatsApp message to all the kibbutz members that if they want, they've got a minyan, and anybody that wants to join at any time. And they were just overwhelmed because some of these people haven't been to shul for 70 years. I've got an aunt who lives on Kibbutz Degania. She'll be well and healthy in her mid-90s. And on their kibbutz, on Kibbutz Degania, there's Degania Aleph and there's Degania Bet. Degania Aleph is the first kibbutz that was established in Israel. And outside the kibbutz, they've even got from 48 that they've got? I can't remember if it's 48 or the 67. I can't remember. But there's a tank, like an old tank that's there. I mean, when you see the way tanks have changed and developed in this time, it's like not normal. It's sort of like going from a mini to a lorry. And they don't actually have a shul on the kibbutz. They were never, you weren't allowed to have, the joke of it is for all the years, so nothing was kosher. But if you wanted to have like real treif meat or whatever, it had to be marked not kosher. And everything that went into the kibbutz kitchen had to be kosher. It's just once they started cooking it that it became non-kosher. The milk pots, the meat, the whatever, no differentiation. And but everything, this constitution of the kibbutz said everything that came into the kitchen had to be kosher. And the joke of the whole thing is, kibbutz has disappeared kind of off the map of Israel. But the joke of it is that today the kitchen is used for a kosher catering company. So I said, you know, Hashem has his way. You've got this beautiful big kitchen. I used to go and say, oh, this kitchen is amazing. And the dishwashers and nothing was kosher. But that's how it was. And today, every kibbutznik on kibbutz Dagania that lives there eats kosher because they eat from the kitchen. But they don't have a shul. My aunt was the only person that in her family that lit Shabbos candles. She didn't care. She came from South Africa, and that was her thing. She had a shame. There was another South African family that lived on the kibbutz, and they also lit their Shabbat candles. So here they are on a totally secular kibbutz, all these beautiful chayalim. And they said people just started coming in. Kol Nidre. They said it was packed, Kol Nidre, Yisko. The people that came Yisko, that had not been into a shul and said Yisko for, you know, and the Ila. And he says, the soldier, he says, I became the Baal Tefillah, the person who leads the davening, the Baal Tokea, the person who does the blowing, and the speaker. He says, like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, he said, but never in his life did he dream that they would have such an uplifting Yom Kippur in the middle of a war and on a totally secular kibbutz. Do you know what? They said to him, please come back next year. So the things that are happening are real, okay? We're living in such a real place because we actually are forced to be able to look. We're supposed forced to be able to look at why are we being killed? There was a video clip that Rebbetzen Gottlieb sent me. It doesn't have English translation, so I just actually didn't send it out. Of a soldier. When you see soldiers and you know that you know, when they call severe, it means limbs. And you don't know how many limbs are missing. And he's got one arm that you can see that's also his fingers and whatever. And the other hand, when the guy comes in, he puts his hand out, which is not really a hand. And he's been asked questions. And he's like got this beautiful smile on his face. And the guy says to him, I heard that you're such a chamud, you're such a lovely guy. Like, how? How? You know? So he says, our soldiers, he says, you know, even my friends who died, and many have died, but they going in fighting for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people. They fighting for this. They're not questioning it. And, you know, one of the things that we actually say, and one of the things that we know, you know, the amount of religious people that have lost their lives because it's actually a bit ridiculous, like, you know, percentage-wise. There are a lot of, and people are saying, you know, look at all the, you know, there are a lot of, but when a person dies, Al-Kiddush Hashem, and that there's nothing, but even our hostages and the Nova concert and all these things, anybody that lost their life because they are a Jew is the same level as Rabbi Akiva. You know, and we're told that Rabbi Akiva was dragged through the streets and, like, you know, his body was combed, you know, with metal. You can't imagine. And he left the world, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Take me, Hashem, because I'm coming here on your behalf. We're coming here on Hashem's behalf. And we're going out into our sukkah. So we have to take our sukkah. One of the ladies now just said to me, she said, oh my gosh, how quickly can I make these challahs? They're traveling tonight. I said, where are you going? She said, Tenerife. I said, great, you've got your challahs for the whole chag. You're going to have a nice. She said, I'm so excited. You know, just that. Make something that really on all your behalf as well, a part of the waiting, the late, the this, it's just all part of any Jew that leaves that place feeling, you know, like, thank you, Hashem. It's like, and I've got no problem with telling them what we're doing here. We're here because Hashem wants us to be here, but we've got to be. Being a Jew is being a Jew in its entirety, and the less we know, the sadder it is. Because the more we know what we're doing and why we're here, the more reason we actually have to be here. why fast? You know, somebody asked the question, like, what is Hoshana Rabbah? Like, oh, you know, when we know that Hashem is here with us, and we know, and like the days that honestly like go past, and I think, you know, Thursday night and Friday, I spent a number of hours in the hospital with my mother. Baruch Hashem, she's fine. But I can tell you that they're saying like this little thing goes in your head, so like, oh, you know, okay. And you have to say, it's okay. This is your mother, and you will miss going to Kol Nidre, and you will miss going, and you will pop in, and you will, and you know, it's like, it was funny. But I've got there's some tefillahs. And many years I never went to shul. How many years I didn't go to shul? I can't remember. Many, many years I didn't go to shul. Who could go to shul? Baruch Hashem, you know, with growing family and little children. I had friends who used to leave their kids with their cleaner to go to Kol Nidre. And you know, it's a very funny thing. For anybody that did it, I have no judgment. No judgment. Maybe because their kids were already in bed, ready to go to sleep, and I was just starting their day. You know, it was kind of like, okay, you know, this is what you're doing. It doesn't make a difference. And then I remember when I started being able to go to shul a little bit more, then we had grandchildren. And then my children, well, actually I couldn't, because I could have left them with Zevi with them, because I had Zevi, and then it was actually when I think Zevi was already a bit bigger. And Nomi, yeah, exactly. Because my Nomi, her Tzvi, Erev Rosh Hashanah, just turned 10. Just turned 10. So, morning, Tavara. So, yes, he was a baby. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, just a baby. And you see how they grow, my goodness. And now he's in yeshiva, and we're organizing his sukkah's plans and all the rest of it. So here we go. And I'm like, okay, did she have to have a baby Erev Rosh Hashanah? I mean, thanks, you know. And the first 2 days I was backwards and forwards. To second day, she, Baruch Hashem, came home in a taxi, and her husband was allowed to come back with her and whatever. But it was like, and then because she had a cesarean, this was the first, I never had cesareans, and one of my children had cesareans. I was like, oh, that was the end of shul. You know, it's like, there she was, moved in, and I'm just like, okay, it's okay. You know why? Because Hashem is wherever you bring him. And if you can't go to shul, then I'd say to myself sometimes, you know, like in war times, who goes to shul? And I remember Dan Lopian telling me that his mother hardly ever went to shul. Certainly when it wasn't the high holidays, she never went to shul. Because we daven in our space. Women don't have to be, why do you think women don't have to be part of a minyan? So we don't have an obligation to go. So you can talk to Hashem wherever you are. But right now, Hashem is here down. We're told that Hashem's gates are wide open, and he's here with us listening. And Hoshana Rabbah comes that time where we want sukkahs to continue so that we'll keep Hashem in our midst. I'm telling you. And since last year, Simchas Torah, Hashem hasn't left. He hasn't gone back up there. He's been with us the entire time. He is so close with us because of what we're going through. And we see it. Whatever you look at, the miracles. I don't know if anybody is on any of these funny groups and things, but my gosh, you know, one of the warehouses decide, no, they don't go into the safe room. Whatever hit this warehouse, literally the guy was that much away from being hit. But I mean that much, right? There was a big piece of the missile that dropped in Holon, dropped in the middle of a street, missed somebody by that much. You know what? We've got to look at these things and say, these are the miracles that Hashem is sending to us all the time. He's giving us things and saying, you know what? Here you are. So we're taking all these things. I was just talking to my daughter, Tahila, and I was saying, you know, a lot of Jews live with the thought process, okay, of, I don't have to do anything like Jewish. You just got to be a good person. And then I say, well, what's a good person? How do we know what's a good person? Nobody knows what a good person is until you start learning Torah. And then it's very scary what makes a good person. Our characteristics, Orchos Tzadikim, the 13 midas. Okay, when we look through these, I'm really sorry, but I actually left my house and I thought, well, I don't know if you don't have a Rebbetzen, Hela. Here you are.
No.
Have you got an Orchos Tzadikim or the Tomer Devora?
Oh my gosh.
Or have you got one of those? You know that post of the 13 midas.
Yeah.
Have you got one of those?
Well, it's on my.
Or the bookmark. So just take a picture for me.
Okay.
Can you? Thank you. What did you find there? So, okay, you're
Laurie's just an article.
Oh, Laurie will send us an article.
Yeah.
Dahlia will post the article that Laurie wrote. And I actually have an article, thanks Neats, where's Neats? In the Tribune this week. And really it's just about the normal things, what we've gone through and our connection and how we have to remind ourselves that ultimately, if we're not working to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash, then we've forgotten what it is. And working to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash is really one of the things. Leah, did you eat, sweetie?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just checking. Dahlia's, would you let her know? But she says, do you have nice food? I said, Dahlia, look on.
Of course.
I don't know what
No, what they called? Brzezinski's cross.
Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, she took out the picture, but it didn't come out. So, how do we know what it means, to be a good person? What do we put our level in being a good person? I've got to be careful, but I could use it. I say, no, I'll volunteer for Emunah. Makes me a good person. Hi, George. Makes me, huh? So,
you know.
right.
You don't
So,
know about
and I
that.
shouldn't use Emunah, but
No,
any
it's just as an
organization,
yeah.
I go once a week to pack bags at gift. I am a holy person, And then we say, hang on a second, because one of the things that we know, we learn from the ways of Hashem, okay? We learn from Hashem. He says to us, how do you become a good person, okay? You can stop me as soon as you disagree with one of the things. Okay, so reach out, okay? Reach out, okay? You want to reach out? We'll stop at the words reach out. Of course we reach out to people. But hang on and listen what reach out means. Reach out to others, ready, who regret their mistakes and help them remove the damage they created. That's what makes you a good person. Oh, really? No, okay. I'll stop at the words reach out, because I reach out to everybody. But to help them, right, remove the damage that they themselves created, forget it. I can't do that. Look what they did. They made their own mess. Let them, you remember that saying? They made their bed, let them lie in it. And the world thinks we're good people. So you're getting all your messages now from Gift. Oh, do you want to do a driving opportunity? I'll tell them that you're busy. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, listen to this one. Do not punish. Okay, do not punish others. Do you punish anybody? Ever punish anybody else? No, of course not. Oh, here's Tamar coming to share. Okay, or take revenge. Oh, hello, cutie. Okay, you've got to say hello to everybody. Oh, okay. Sorry, we can't all coo and whatever if you don't share.
My little granddaughter.
And a great granddaughter. So we've got the great grandmother and the dad and the mom and our little gorgeous Tamar. So there we are. 4 generations all here with us together. Okay? So what does it actually mean? Do not punish another person. Would anybody dare punish another person? Of course not. But then don't take revenge. And do you know what it means? Very little things that you don't even notice that you take revenge about. Okay? We don't even notice, but that's what makes a good person. Now, next one is stand by others who are suffering, even though they brought the suffering on themselves. You know what? I don't know if the whole world knows that this is what it means to be a good person. I just don't know that. Okay, next one. Even if someone does evil, find a small place in your heart for them. Okay. Now, it's again, these things, and they're not extreme. This is just what it means to be in Torah value a good person. So if we don't learn Torah, how do we know how we're going to be the good person? And if we just take everything the way we think it's going to happen and just be, but when we start, the younger we start, the easier it is. Right? The younger we start learning, the easier it becomes, because that becomes our default button. And we've still got to work hard on it. And you know how we know that? Because when we come to Yom Kippur, the Yom Kippur service was not written just because. When we go through all these, it means that there's at least a portion of the world population, of the Jewish world population, that have done these things wrong. So we've all got to be saying, and when we go through the confessions, it's like, oh my goodness, right? I don't know, but I can find most of them that I've done to perfection. And you think, and what does it mean being a good person? Tolerate, are you ready for this one? Tolerate other people's weaknesses, right? It's not even tolerate, it's helping people, right? We just put up with. And you know what? We all have weaknesses. I mean, I'm sure everybody else outside of myself have weaknesses. Now, you know, I mean, I have weaknesses. Everybody else doesn't have weaknesses outside of myself, because we recognize, and the more we recognize what they are, actually it thinks, well, I'm not going to do that. And tomorrow or today, I'm going to start not da-da-da-da-da. And 3 minutes later, something happens, right? So we have to learn to test ourselves, because we want to create our default, our human default becomes non-judgmental. How difficult is it sometimes when we've worked on something and we've had to really work hard at it, and we're getting to a certain space that we're getting there, and then somebody does something and we just, it's okay. I don't know what happened to them this morning, right? And I keep saying that because we don't know what happened to anybody when they got out of bed this morning. You don't know what news. You know, I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago, and they'd had a bad, the doctor didn't have such wonderful news for them. And it was quite a, you know, and I was like, and then sort of halfway through the conversation, they asked me something and then said, well, you know what, actually, it's not really such a good day. I was like, okay, you know. And then they told me what, I was like, not such a good day. Oh my goodness, how did you even come here and keep the appointment? He said, actually, because it's good for her. Yeah, I thought, you're right, it is good for you, because the more, not to distract yourself, the more we take to work on ourselves, to look, how can we be better people and what can we do better in the world, the better it is for us. Because we're telling Hashem, you know what, Hashem? I'm not judging everybody. I'm thanking you for this gift, which is enabling me to focus on being a better person, right? And these are the things that we need to do. Oh, and I've lost this. Oh, sorry, Sarah. Right, I've lost this.
You want to move your...
I'll try. Let me try. Can't get it.
Can you, have we not got anybody across the road who wants to?
It's fine.
Okay.
I won't take
Can you get me back to that?
Yeah.
So really what we see, so here is somebody who actually says to us, you know what, I'm going to use this as an opportunity. And I really believe that the opportunity is for each and every one of us, right? Our opportunity is to take us now, and we've come to this beautiful time of Sukkot. Claire's your sukkah built. I was thinking about you. You know, there's some things and sometimes that we really want, and then Hashem just sort of like does things and we think like, why? Don't ask the question. You know, don't ask those whys, because the truth is we've got to do that the best that we can when we can, and every single thing is stored. Hashem has got this incredible storage space. You know, our computers run out of storage. The hard drive runs out of storage. Hashem's storage never ends. And at 120, when Mashiach comes, he's going to give us our whole logbook. I've just done my very first time, actually, because I work in, like, now I've changed whatever. So, but I've had to do, like, my accounts. And I'm like, I was like, but you know what the best thing was? The best thing was actually getting, okay, what did Emma say? Sorry, it's going off. So what is it? We are so careful with our counting when it comes to some things. And we're so careful with the way we put things in and take them. Why? Because I don't want to be, you know, I had to pay a bill to HMRC. I did it. I was so proud of myself. This is really working. You know, this is like so against anything that I've ever known or know how to do, that I'm very proud of myself and I get very excited. So I'm like, well done, you did it. And what's the best part? The best part is when you actually think, you know, that I managed to help to save myself a little bit of money, right? So what does it mean? So I said to somebody who's been helping me, I messaged them and I said, you know what? Thank you, Hashem, for making you my shaliach to help me do this. Don't forget for 1 second that Hashem didn't want you to have this extra bit or to, however it works, yeah? What he's doing for you is he's giving it to you. Don't kid yourself that it's because of this person helping you to do your books. It's Hashem's way of doing it for you. So I thanked him for being a great shaliach in helping me to be more astute, okay, with my finances. Every single time a missile is shot, imagine the miracles. Imagine how busy HaKadosh Baruch Hu is. Imagine how busy he is. His busyness goes beyond, because what he's doing all the time is looking at our children and he's saying, they're coming, and we think and we convince that it's these anti-missile, and it's amazing. But Hashem helped us to create those, and he helps them to work. And if we have a look at ours that have been sent, they are not protected. They're not protected because that genius bleeper of 10 years of work, it worked. But when did it work? When it needed to. So it took 10 years preparation. There was a cell yesterday that they found. Should we take her? There's a cell yesterday. Is she too heavy for you? Do you want me to take her from you? You okay? There was a cell that they found yesterday. You don't want to know what the preparations and things were that were coming our way. When we think about these things and we think, how did Hashem help us? How did Hashem help us to make sure that this would happen? But don't for a second think that it's only the IDF without Hashem. It's not only the IDF without Hashem. Hashem is there with us. He's doing it for us. And we have to remind ourselves. And we have to remind ourselves that every single time something happens, it's because another Jew did another beautiful commandment. People that are so totally disconnected, when I think about the amount of energy that has come through the candle packing, and when friends tell me, and the girls say that they set their alarms on their phones to make sure that every Friday, I said, oh my gosh, the challenge is coming now, girls. We're going back into those winter things. And I'm not going to say end your day, but I'm going to say have your Shabbat table set. Before Shabbat on Friday afternoon, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, have your Shabbat table set, have your chalot on the table, put your kiddush on the table, and have your candles lit on time. I'm not going to say anything else what you do or don't do after. It's going to be the Shabbat project on the 15th and 16th of November. And whoever's going to be able to do more must do more, huh? And you know what? I've got a group of ladies, of 8 ladies, 9, that some will just do Friday night, but they're all starting before Shabbos comes in. That's their commitment, okay? And you know, all I have to do is cook food for all of them. That's all. So I'm making their Friday night dinner. They don't put on a shab, and I tell them just don't boil the kettle. Right? Do funny little things that say, Hashem, I'm with you, because Shabbos is the source of all bracha. And when we focus on that source of bracha and we bring Hashem into our world, he's going to reward us whatever we don't know, but he's giving us the gift. So if we prepared before and we know, okay, we don't know what's going to come from one Shabbos. And when people are sitting and packing candles, why are they doing it? Why are they lighting their Shabbat candles? Oh, not for them. They're doing it in the merit of our hostages, the Ilun Nishmas, those that have left the world from us. And you know what? We do it. You know, because of my connection of having met the brother of Elkanah, Ben Ruchama, Bochbart in Yerushalayim, he's included in lots of our things now. Even this morning in Hartsmere, who's a member of Bushi Shul? Who's your one of the hostages that you do things for? You know what? Elkanah ben Ruchama is getting special merit. I don't know why. Hashem put him in that space, and that's what we do. You know? Do you think that Daniel's mother is happy that her son is all over everywhere? Of course not. But if what happened, at least let him have brought this and be igniting Jews. Because all over the world, because how did my connection come to Elkanah's brother? Through this, through Daniel. So thank you, Daniel. We, you know, huge. This is the world that we're living in. If anybody wants a laminated A2 picture of this for your sukkah, I have. I have some at home, and I have others that are coming because most of them are gone, but I've got one here. I've got one here. Okay? Because you know what we have to do? We've got to remind ourselves, because we do forget. So we have to remind ourselves at every moment of opportunity, you know what? Don't do this, do that. Don't do this, do that. Or just do that because it's positive. When I meet people in the street, change your thing. Yeah, maybe somebody upset you. Maybe somebody even took your parking. I had a funny one once. Yeah. I was waiting to go into a parking and somebody literally slipped in. The most embarrassing thing from them was that I knew them. Anyway, then they said, oh, no, they're going to move. They're going to move. I said, no, you would have done it to anybody else. Don't not do it because it's me. But next time, check. Right? Or even easier than that, when you don't let somebody in and you're on the way. Well, I'm not going to let them in. You know what they did to me yesterday? No, that's taking revenge, but I'm a nice person. I just don't learn enough Torah. So I don't know that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. In simple little things. Hashem, you see? Remember me? I'm that person who let the person, oh, you know, I'm trying. The little things and things that I don't make big. Remind ourselves that it's every little thing that we do that makes the biggest differences. You know, you can tell Hashem that you're becoming very holy and that you're going to sit and learn for 7 hours a day and you're hiding away, and it doesn't work. I remember when Rebbetzen Riegler said, one of the moments she realized that she was on the wrong path. Okay, when you've been practicing meditation and you're all by yourself and everything's quiet and there's no food and there's all the things and you're there, and then somebody bangs the door by mistake and it interrupts your meditation and you're like, what are you doing? You know, then suddenly you realize that 10 years of this and I can still speak to another person like that, there's something wrong. Something wrong. This isn't what we're supposed to do. It's not isolation. It's not just me, myself, and I. We live in a society. You know, when great rabbis would take themselves out of the public domain and disappear sometimes to learn for years, they were preparing themselves for what they were coming into. And they were preparing themselves, for this. They weren't just learning Gemara and Halacha. They were learning how to become the most holy person. And it means holy is being able to to tolerate other people's differences and weaknesses, to rejoice with others and suffer with their suffering to share one neshama. If you sit and cry every day for just a few moments, and you feel the pain of a mother, of a sister, of a brother, of a whatever, of a cousin, you feel the pain. When I speak to moms, and I speak to mothers, and I realize that these mothers, they're not sleeping. Because who sleeps? You know, I heard one of the most beautiful, heart-wrenching things yesterday. You know, I don't know if anybody saw this, but when those boys, when the terrible Binyamina happened the day before yesterday, B'nai Brak, you know, that Brummy B'nai Brak Haredi neighborhood, they were lining the streets to give blood. They were lining the streets that they could go and all donate blood. So we all know who Rebbetzen Kanievsky was. It's going to be her yahrzeit soon. Again. And Rebbetzen Kanievsky, as we know, her daughter, Rebbetzen Kolodetsky, took over from the Rebbetzen, as her father said, not to the oldest daughter, but to Rebbetzen Kolodetsky. So one of the hostage mothers, if it was one or more, went to B'nai Brak and went to get a bracha. Somebody took them to get a bracha from Rebbetzen Kolodetsky. I don't know what happened in the rest of the conversation, but you know what she told them? Rebbetzen Kolodetsky said that her husband, Rav Kolodetsky, is in his 70s, okay, since October 7th, since Simchas Torah, we must all put in our headspace, okay? October 7th, it's Simchas Torah. Simchas Torah is the day, okay? And we're coming up. So we can all light an extra yahrzeit camp, okay? And you put this Le'ilu Nishmas, if anybody goes to Yiska, have these martyrs in mind, okay? And she says, since Simchas Torah night, her husband has slept on a mattress on the floor. He will not sleep in a bed. He will not sleep in a bed. Dals, I've lost it again. He will not sleep in a bed, right? He will not sleep in a bed while he knows that these soldiers are out there fighting for the safety of Israel. This is Haredim mina Haredim. These are the fromest of the from. But what people aren't aware of and don't know, right? I'm really sorry. I'm just give it a your time thing is a little bit short for our learning. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to emulate. So you don't have to put your mattress on the floor, but we've got to feel discomfort. We don't have to not have anything, but we've got to, but the miracles, thank you, that are taking place. There was a picture that somebody sent, a man wearing a kippah. Shrapnel, he was hurt, and he's dealing with his wounds. But his kippah, which was a thick knitted kippah, not just the thin regular kippah suga, thickish knitted kippah, there was a piece of shrapnel that would have gone straight through there. And he didn't notice it until after, and he took it off, and he sees this thing. And the doctor says, you don't understand. This is a miracle. Okay, we have to count the miracles, the amount of helmets, okay, the good quality helmets. They have found bullets lodged in the helmets. And where do you think that is? That is nothing less than a miracle, okay? Then we talk about growing closer to someone who is sorry, right? Now, if you imagine somebody who's really trying to apologize, that really you just can't be bothered with anymore. You know, you think like, well, surely the Torah is making a mistake. Why should I give him another opportunity to cause me pain? No. Doesn't that what makes sense? But that's what being a nice person is, right? So we have to understand that all these things, internally, we all really want to do what's right. It's just difficult because you know we have to do it. We have to be learning it and learning it. And I actually remember when we did the first gratitude workshop with Rebbetzen Riegler, And she actually said we're doing something, and she says one of the things that she uses is take a piece of paper and write a list of 100 things that you can thank your mother for. And then she said within the same breath, but you have to know that's when you had a proper relationship, or you know, or how you add? Good, that you have a proper relationship and that you were treated properly, and the halachas really look after everybody. We've just got to find them out. Okay. So it was such an interesting thing for me that she said, and she said, look, you know what? She sits here and she does these workshops, and then she suddenly realizes, that she was blessed, but not everybody was blessed with the best mother. And then we've got to find out, how do we learn those laws of kibbut avayim? We've got to go and ask shilas, because we still have an obligation. We've just got to go and check it out. We've got to check it out. Right? Because every single person's situation is going to be different. Okay? And the next thing is do the right thing. Do the right thing. How do we do the right thing? Now, each of these things, I'm just flying through them because I just want us to understand what we think is just being a good person has got a lot of work and a long way to go. Okay? How do we know what the right thing to do is? Sometimes we'll do something, we think that that's the right thing to do, and then we go and we ask, and believe me, it's not the right thing, right? And I just had a fascinating conversation with somebody where a few years ago, I think that a parent was struggling with their child getting married and leaving home. It's not always easy. Okay. And anyway, when this girl came to speak to me, I said, you know what? I said, all you have to do is like try for as long as you can, just to give and to do, and to don't expect anything back, and just be nice. And even if they make it difficult for you when they're nice, just carry on doing things. Anyway, it was so fascinating because she called the other day to ask about different Yom Tov plans. Now, I have to tell you, I really pride myself in one thing that I think I did right. And that thing was when our first ones got engaged, I knew that it was very important for the parents to have their children at home, because they didn't live in Golders Green and Hendon. And I just said, my big thing was, I will not argue over which nights to come for Yom Tov. Okay? I will not let that happen. We will be mevater. Okay? So, and the truth is that we both Pesach and Sukkot, for the first years when they used to come backwards and forwards, we did second night for the family night. I did second night for the family night, and if everybody could get there, they could. And my daughter used to walk from Kingsbury. Her and her husband walked from Kingsbury, up to 3 children, they walked from Kingsbury, and then, changed, and then they started staying in Israel. But you know what? That was doing the right thing. Not standing on my thing, because what do we sometimes think and feel? Really what we want to do is like, my child, I'm the mother of the girl, they always have to go with the girl, since there are no rules like that. Nobody puts rules like that. Okay? What we do is doing, and then we've got to check out, because sometimes we do things that's not right. And then we check it out and we find out what the right thing to really do is. Okay. We're going to finish off now. Okay. We do not know what brings another person to do evil. Good morning. Focus on where a person came from, where they are going, and have compassion. Okay. And we're going to actually finish off on that understanding, because it is so beautiful. Nobody knows, Rebbetzen Gottlieb famously says, you meet a person on chapter whatever it is in their life. I would be to say to any of us here, how many of us know the maiden name of all the people that we know and have known for years and years? How many people know a birthday, or how many children there are in the family, or where they grew up, And when you think about it, we don't know what kind of a home people grew up in. We would go into people's homes, all of our friends growing up. I knew all my friends' mothers' names. I knew most of the telephone numbers. The telephone numbers I can still tell you today that I know from when I was a child, and I cannot remember. I don't know anybody else's telephone numbers because I just go into a phone book. You know, luckily for Facebook and Dahlia or other people, I remember some people's birthdays. You know, I don't look at Facebook that often, but sometimes I do, and then I send a message. Oh, quickly, Liat Borga should have a refuah shalema. Please
Yeah.
remind me.
Okay.
She's having surgery today, but I need to drop something in. Okay, so see the things that you remind me, Dal.
Yeah.
So we've got to be so grateful. But actually, if we all took the time and we sat down with the people that we converse with and the people that we speak to, we would look at people very, very differently. We would look at people very, very differently. Where are you from? How was your childhood? Where did you go after you went into high school? How were your first years of your married life? How your struggles? How this? How much money did you have or didn't you have? Yeah, how many loans did you have to take to get through uni? All these tiny little things that we don't think about. Because we meet a person and you see somebody who looks like they should be who you've made the picture of that they are. What car do they drive? Where's their house? Not how have they grown? What struggles did Hashem give them? If you met Lily, oh, Shalom, I can't say that so well. If you met Lily when she was 65, nobody would have known where she came from. Nobody would have known. Leah Kaufman, she believed that her children didn't even know that she had been through the Holocaust. She smiled every day. But when she lit her candles 3 years ago, her Shabbos candles, and she said, please, Hashem, don't let my children see the horrors of the world that we saw. And she probably said that every single Erev Shabbos. And Leah would never have believed in her life what took place last year, and she knew what went on. And I believe it shortened a number of survivors' lives because it was too painful. I grew up in a very protected place. My beautiful grandmother had her nails beautifully manicured. We did say of my grandmother, she never put her hands into cold water. That was to wash a dish. She lived in one of those bit of generation. But she still had her pain and her suffering. We just didn't know about it. Everybody. When you look at other people, look with compassion. Take a few moments when we go into our sukkahs or wherever we're going to be, think of we taking ourselves, our entire body, and we're removing it from the comfort of. We should be doing that every single day. We should have a moment where we take, you know, you go into the butcher, you just order your things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, got a fruit delivery now, and you know, all the different things. Like, oh, gosh, I really got to go to the shops to buy these things. I wonder, why can't I get them delivered? Hello? Just take your time. I've sent out to my group about collecting. I'm doing 1 million collections, and I don't care. You know, people can drive me. Oh, another one. And yes, another one, because yes, we need more. There are mothers who are giving birth without their husbands, and their husbands will never be there. You know, what's the least we can do? Give them a new baby growth. What do you think it's going to do? You know what it says to them? Somebody I don't know loves me and cares. When a soldier gets a card that we've written and sent, or a cream, or anything, mascara. Can you imagine we send mascara to Chayalot? Why do they need mascara? Because they need to feel good about themselves. Let them do what they're doing and say, oh, I look quite pretty. That's all. We care. We go beyond. Because actually we're all part of the same neshama and we all share. And we can do that. Hashem knows that too. And then he wants to look after all of us the way he's looking after. So let's just take that as a moment of our thought process for the entire sukkah. Every day. That was me. Yeah.
You know, they want them to go. okay, I just wondered.
So when I go home, because
Sooner
you
the
see the
better.
time that I sent it out
Yes, I
last night.
know, and then I
So
don't
when
know,
I
my
go
son messages
home,
me a lot
also
later than
instead of drum, it's a frum. So it's fine because
Right.
somebody wrote it for me, and everyone keeps asking me what's a drum, and I'm like, what's
Didn't even
drum?
read
I
that.
don't know.
I thought maybe drum
Okay.
was the social media site.
So I thought it was 2 o'clock. What time was it? 1:30? I don't.
1:10.
1:10. So I thought I did message the person. I can't believe she didn't answer me at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Jake replied at
Right?
48.
I was like, hello, what do you think you're doing sleeping? There's no time for sleeping. It's 1 o'clock. I need to know what does drum mean. So I just sent it out. When should they have it there? I don't know. But she was outside my house before. So also, yeah, so this is what we're going to do. So let's just grow this together, and let's just open up our hearts, and let's just ask Hashem, help me to be a better person. Help me to be what's a really good person. And then together we just become, and we remind each other, you know what it really means to be good? I've been doing this Tamid Devara for 17 years. Oh my gosh, I'm still working very hard on it. And there's still one or two of the same things that I look at it and I say, do you really want that of me? You can't. It's too much for me. Okay? But I'm trying every moment. So the day that I got my suitcase, my bag with my lamb chops and everything back, but it wasn't the lamb chops, I needed the shatels in the case. So one day you'll all hear the whole story again, because I said it so many times. But I told Hashem I'm going to try and do one of the things in this 13 that are very hard to do. And then he sent me my bag. So he obviously liked me saying that I'm going to try and do it. And I'm working very, very hard on it. And it's very hard. Boy, it's hard. But he sent us, he made you, you were born into your family, we live in our communities, all the different things that are here, right? All the different things. And yet, he says, I know, but you've got to work hard. So we should all merit to be able to have the moyach and the koyach, as our Rebbetzen Joanne said, and I'm going to let you know when she's speaking next week, the moyach and the koyach, okay? The brain power and the energy to be able to think, to change, to be the best that I can be, to look at other people and say, where have you come from? Be compassionate, okay? Just be compassionate. I don't know how you woke up this morning. I don't know what letters you got through your post. I don't know what messages you got, but I'm here. And I'm looking at that and saying, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Make a beautiful, uplifting sukkah, okay? Just tell Hashem, every moment we're putting ourselves out there so that we can at least feel the pain of all of our brothers and our sisters and make the miracle. Be a 2-year-old nag, scream and shout and tell Hashem. I'm telling you, if we'd all go back to being 2 instead of saying, oh, you know what he did, you know what she did, you know, no, Hashem, we want Mashiach and we want Mashiach now. And it's too much. We can't do this anymore. Okay? And that's where we're going to get to, and that's where we're going to come from. So, Chag Sameach. We will let you know when we are going to be meeting again. And thank you for being here. And lots of love. And to everybody here as well. Okay? And my granddaughter.
Thank you very much. That's great.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day, a beautiful Chag. And we'll see everybody soon. Lots of love.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you as
Pleasure.
well for telling me about Liat. I didn't know.
Okay, so yes, I just
I'm
actually
really sorry.
bumped into Ronette. I popped into Edgeware to Kosher Daily, and I bumped into Ronette, and I meant to call her last night, and until 1:30 I was going to send a message, and now I just remembered I didn't send it because I was sending out these things, and yeah, so she's
You
having
know
surgery
when she's having it? I just
today.
don't want to disturb her like I did you with text. I'm so sorry.
Just send her a message. No, that's fine, but just send her a message, and yeah. And you can say that you heard from me, from Ronette, and we had her in mind during our show.
No, I just got a shock. I didn't know. Like I kind of whatever life happens. Yeah, also sorry for sending you text when you were doing share. I really wanted whatever you were reading, but Dahlia gave it to me, so thank you.
Ah, you see, got her sitting here.
I
There
know
we
I call
go.
her Rebbetzen Dahlia, but she thinks I'm
We
joking.
all had these things on, and we've got. I'm going to try and get some more bookmarks of them.
Yes.
Oh, can I have one? If you ever come across it.
As soon as I get again. Otherwise, maybe I should just make a copy of it. I'll ask her
If you
if I
can't
hate.
get it for me, give it to Dahlia and you pick it up. It's easier.
Go get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
super.
Have a great
No
Sukkot.
problem.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
Oh, yeah, they're looking good.
Leah Bella, go get them.